give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story.
So Psalm 107 is quite powerful for me because it talks about how the Lord brings back those that are wandering in the darkness, those that are drifting unsettled. He really did that for me. He led me back to safety by his Spirit. I met you when I was 14. Your word came to life and I believe. When I would turn 14 years old, my uncle, who was a Christian, the only Christian in my family, he sat down with me in a small room, I remember, and he just started talking about the gospel. I knew I needed that, and so I just started crying, and I remember the Holy Spirit was just washing me, and I was surrendering. One thing I wish more is that I was in a group of Christians that I could connect with and pray with. And I think because of that, that began to lead to a disconnect between walking out my Christian faith. I didn't have very good direction. I started really craving wanting to be married at a young age when I was about 20. I remember specifically going to bed and saying, Lord, I just want to get married and have kids. I thought that was going to make me happy. The very next day, I met someone. He was nice looking and funny. I thought that's who I was supposed to be with, and I ended up following him instead of following Jesus. The day came when the person I was with was deported. I made the decision to sell everything that I owned, which was mainly just a car, and use that money to go with him to Argentina. He didn't have a job and neither did I, so we ended up going from place to place wherever we could find rest, but it was never rest for my spirit, for my soul.
Some wandered in the wilderness, lost and homeless, hungry and thirsty. They nearly died.
I'm in Argentina and we didn't have a house or really a shelter, so I was really just with cardboard and a little fire pit. And I remember there was this big vegetable market and I was just standing outside, you know, with my big jacket, like a man's jacket. People could tell I wasn't from there. And I would just wait, and I knew that they saw me and they had, you know, a bag ready for me. And I just realized that God, even in our lowest moments, He works through those people to give you what you need. And so I came back to the Lord shortly after that because I didn't want my baby to be born in that place and in such despair. I remember talking to my mom on the phone and her saying, I'm pregnant, and she said, even if you are, you don't belong here. But looking back, I'm so glad that they did that because I was able to be in a place called Precious Life Shelter. I had a job. I was able to stay sober and clean during that time, which was a big deal for me because I had wandered and tried to numb the pain with substances and things that I shouldn't have any part of.
Some sat in darkness and deepest gloom. Imprisoned in iron chains of misery, they rebelled against the words of God.
After 10 years, and I had gone back and forth so many times, but I had never chosen that decision to separate for good from the things that were harming me, not just from a person, but from thoughts that were hindering my growth. But the Lord sent out His word. In the quietness and in the stillness, He restored my soul. I became close with my family again. They received me with open arms, and out of that situation, I now have a beautiful 7-year-old daughter. I'm so blessed with how God uses brokenness and puts the pieces back together in such a way where you would have never thought. But He does create beauty out of ashes.
You give me peace that passes understanding.
Something this world can never comprehend.
It was really the result of my choices and my rebellion that caused affliction in my life and suffering. But that is not the conclusion of the story. There's way more to come. I know that I'm at peace and at rest with Him. I pray that you will be too from listening to this story.
Let them give thanks to the Lord and tell of His works with songs of joy.